record. Yay! Okay, so what we did is we did a poll. Well, first of all, we are so happy you guys are here. It is so much fun to have a class. Even in quarantine, we can still meet, we can still learn because we love people and we love seeing your faces. So thank you for showing up tonight. We know we only have 40 minutes, but we're going to do our best to teach you everything we can. But our goal is to empower you so that you can continue your research and continue your journey. And that's how Sean and I have learned. I think there's a couple more people trying to get in. Okay. That's how we've learned. And so our goal tonight is to help encourage you and get that excitement going to start trying new things and not to be afraid of it. So we did a poll a couple weeks ago, probably the 1st of April, and we asked kind of the emotions that you've been going through. We can go through a ton of emotions in one day, you guys. Hands down, I could have 10 emotions in one day. Who knows? We all do, right? And so Sean and I have 9 emotions we're going to talk about tonight. Please feel free to share in the comment section. You guys can type, ask questions, and when one of us is talking, or you guys can help answer questions if you have that ability. You're welcome to chit chat in the little text message area where it says chat, and you can chat that way. So Sean, do you want to first tell them about the resources before we get into the emotions, or should we do the emotions first?
Let's talk about first of all, the fact that emotions are controlled by our hormones. And so sometimes when we have some emotional issues going on, we also have maybe some hormonal issues. And I see babies, adorable babies,
yes,
and I see some gray hair. I'm not calling anyone else out. So we know at all these different stages of our lives, we have, as women, we have the lovely burden of being emotional, and mostly because our hormones are doing this throughout the month. So, and even after you stop having a cycle, you continue to have hormones that fluctuate. So it's really important to think about that also when you're talking about emotions. And one of the ways, our essential oils can be so effective with emotions, but also a lot of our supplements are so beneficial for emotions. Sonia and I touched on a few today when we were preparing for the class, and one of them is Cortistop. I know a lot of people have had a lot of success with, we normally live in it could be depending on where you're at. For me, this is less stressful than what my normal life looks like. But I know for a lot of people, maybe if you have young kids at home, or if you're trying to get a lot of things accomplished and you're being pulled in different directions by, dogs wanting in and out, and other people who normally aren't home coming to talk to you when you're trying to do something, that cortisone level can build. There's also PD8020 and Femigen. I have kind of played with both of those, and I'm not consistent enough with pill taking to have noticed enough of a difference with those two. But I do know that for my daughter, the PD8020 was very beneficial for her when she started off her cycle. She was kind of all over the place, and it helped to level things off. And then Sonia, you mentioned today, which ones are you using?
Oh, for hormones, for hormones.
Yeah, the supplements. You talked about Super B and
Yes.
something else that you said you always get.
Been a huge difference for me. Super B has been huge. Actually, it's crazy, but multigreens has helped me with my emotions, which is another supplement. I know it's for energy, but it's interesting, but it helps me with my emotions. And Super C. I like the chewables.
Yeah.
But those have been very helpful for me. And like you said, I've been using the Progestins Plus and Endoflex for sure to help me with my emotions, just balance out a little bit more instead of being so drastic.
Right. Progestins Plus is the one that when I started essential oils and people were talking about everyone from 9 to 99 needs Progestins Plus, I got a bottle thinking, yeah, whatever, this isn't really going to work. And I was amazed at how instead of that, that drop in progesterone right before your period hits, I did not have the emotional roller coaster that I normally am on. And, that's anger, that's frustration, that's just this pent up feeling. But also the Endoflex. A lot of people will talk about how amazing the Endoflex is, and that helps. Is this the one that, no, it's sclerescence that helps with estrogen levels, right?
Yes.
Sclerescence and latest Cerebral. I think both of them. And the thing about essential oils is everybody's different. And so for me to say, oh, you need to have this specific oil, I mean, other than Progestins Plus, I think everybody should at least try this. Some people don't react to it well. Some people have amazing results. So I have one daughter that it made her grumpier. There's a reason for it. It was causing too much estrogen buildup in her body. She wasn't excreting the estrogen, and so she was having more emotional outbursts. So we stopped her on that. But everyone is different, so you got to play around with them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was going to say really quick, with the emotions, I do have my favorite book. I like, well, with being a mom of 5 kids or whatever your schedules are like, if you have a crazy busy schedule, my favorite book, I want something quick to read, but I want to learn something. And this has been huge for me. It's Taming the Dragon Within. You can buy it off of Amazon. I didn't look before, but I remember paying like $6.95 for it. It's super simple, but it helps you learn what Progestins Plus is and Endoflex and Dragon Time. And because honestly, like when I got into oils, I didn't really know how to use them. So I just started using them to see what would happen. And for me, I never even had a period. I had to be on birth control my whole entire life to even get a period, or they had to give me some drug to make me bleed. So for me, I didn't know, kind of like, I don't know. It was just weird. I was just weird. And so it was a blessing for me to start experimenting with Endoflex and Progestins Plus. And when we're talking about hormones, you guys, you have to give your body 6 months to really see if it's effective. Because I had a really hard time waiting, but finally by 4 months, my body started regulating. I've been doing this for 6 years now, and I've been able to have a period every month between 4 and 5 weeks consistently. And I will tell you, Sean is right. The secret is consistency. When I start backing off on using my Progestins Plus and Endoflex and some of my supplements, my Ninja Red, if I forget to take it, I notice that my period draws a little bit further away, or my emotions. So there is, but I mean, it's not like if I miss it just one day, it's going to mess everything up. But I will say that being more consistent with it, for your hormones, dealing with emotions. But this book is my favorite book with that, just teaching it, because it's a fast, quick read, and I use it as a resource. So this is a great book to have.
Yeah. And, it's so important, like you said, the consistency. And I don't know about you guys, but because my schedule's been kind of thrown off, I was trying to stick with my schedule and get up in the morning and take a shower and get to work. But what I found was over time, maybe I won't shower today. Well, when I don't shower in the morning, I forget to put these 2 on in the morning. And so after, 3 or 4 days of being tired, I was kind of like, what is the problem? Or not focused. That was another thing with the Endoflex. Endoflex really helped me to focus. And then about, like 10 o'clock today, I was like, why am I just so scatterbrained? Duh, go put your oils on. I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years and I still sometimes forget, to put my oils on because my schedule got messed up. So I definitely think that you can really notice the difference. Sometimes you don't notice the difference when you start using something. It's when you aren't taking it that you're like, oh my gosh, like you were saying about the Super B. If you don't get Super B, she's like lagging with energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, so before we cover the emotions that we lined up, I thought it would be important just to talk a little bit about a couple of resources that we have. And, as Sonia and I prepare for classes, one of the places that we look for information is to the resources that we have on hand. And this monster is so huge, but I love this, this essential oil desk reference. And I know a lot of you have the pocket reference. And for a long time, I did not understand the difference between the two, because it had, all I was looking at was it had the oils and it had the back section with the product usage. And I did not understand what else was involved in this desk reference. And even just today, they had those desk references available for sale through Discover LSP that were $50, and it was a small one, like Sonia held up, this guy. And but it was a limited edition, so it was more expensive. But these, I think, are these going for $35 now?
I think they're $35.
I think they're $35 through their website. And so it's not super expensive as far as a book goes, but there was a whole section in here on emotions I had not seen before, a whole section, and I double checked, it's not in the pocket reference. It's section 4, special issues. It has essential oils, spiritual, mental, and emotional. It has cleansing and the diet, building blocks of health and longevity and vitality. So really good information. Oh, what am I missing? Oh, just people joining.
Yeah, sorry. I have to.
Oh, it's fine. I was like, oh, what's going on over here?
No, it didn't notify me. I feel bad, but we have 2 new friends. Thank you.
So, so in this book, there's just some information about some of the oils that you can use for some of the different emotions that we are going to be discussing. And then the other book that I got early on and really have enjoyed using over the years is the Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils. And yeah, good stuff. It gives you oils to use for certain emotions and different places to apply them, and things to kind of like repeat out loud so that you are breaking the cycle and breaking that pattern of emotion. There's really a very large tie between certain areas of your body and different emotions, and the ability to, everybody's body is different. And so I may hold, I think most people hold anger and frustration in their liver. But if I have a weakness in my shoulder, I may find that when I'm stressed out, my shoulder hurts more than usual. And those are things that a lot of times we don't pay attention to because we aren't taught to pay attention to those things. Your shoulder hurts, go to the doctor. Like there's a physical ailment you have going on, go see a physical doctor to fix the physical ailment. We don't think about things that, other things that might be causing it. And so if you have kind of this reoccurring, like I used to always have this shoulder that I couldn't, lift up. And even now, like right there's just a little bit of a twinge. And when Sonia explained this book to me, the spot there was pain, which made no sense to me, but okay. And so you put Panaway on your shoulder and you say, I am alive. And I would do that every day. And after about, maybe a week to 2 weeks, I noticed that I had much more range of motion. I don't think I had anything physically wrong with my shoulder. It was just whatever anxiety or frustration I had going on in the moment was like stuck in that spot in my body. And the oils and that way out help to move that and release it from my body. So if you don't have this book, it's definitely worth looking into. And if you have a specific like emotion that you're trying to work on, message one of us. We can give you the information that's in here, and we'd be happy to walk you through the process. It's a little hard to teach in a 40-minute class. I taught this before in like an hour and a half, where we spend, half the time talking about how to use this book. So do you have any other resources you want to share before we go to the actual emotions?
Yeah, and I'm just going to touch on it, but this is the Aroma Freedom Technique, and it's a great resource as well, but our goal is not to overwhelm you tonight. So if there's something that you just feel like that is what I need to get, just write that one down and then do that one. You don't have to get all of these. We just wanted to be able to put it on a platter that you can pick and choose of what you feel like is going to be the best for you. So like I already told you, the one that Sean just talked about, that was one of my first ones. And this one, these are the 2 hands down. Later on doing Young Living, I got this one and just learned about just the power of breathing in the essential oils. This one's a technique that would help people who have trapped emotions that they don't even know they have. And I've done the technique a couple times and it has really helped me with issues, and you go into steps. So this is kind of a procedure and we can guide you this. If you're interested in this, we can go more into detail, but not in this class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one that I love, as you'll hear a theme from me, it's short and quick. This little book I love, you can get on Amazon as well. And it's called Heal Your Body. I learned this one from Susan and Lorianne on our team. And it's super simple, but the same thing, like if you feel like you have an emotion, or like Sean was saying, I have a sore throat, it will go in, you quickly use it. It says, oh, you're holding in angry words, feeling unable to express it, the self. And then you go and say the word, I release all restrictions and I am free to be me. So a lot of times our emotions are carried in a pain in our body. Not always. Sometimes you can get a headache just to get a headache, but a lot of times that emotion's triggered to that. So this book I love because it's super easy and you can look up like, I feel off today. What is wrong with me? Why do I have this pain right there? Then you can say, okay, I'm irritated. Look it up and then say it. So this book I love because it's inexpensive as well. So we'll put all the links of these at the end, Sean and I will. This one's a little bit bigger. It took me a while to read it, but it is great if you're really wanting to work on your emotions. This is the same lady that wrote this book, but You Can Heal Your Life. And it's just a bigger, more in depth. If you're one who loves details and want to dive more into it, this is a great book for you. I like the super simple, fast, easy. I like the other one better, but that's my personality. And then the last one, this is physical, but also for your mind, is this one. It's a great resource, but sometimes can be if you want more detail, but you can see how thick it is. But it's also another great book that I use as a resource. I kind of don't read page by page for this one. It's physical, but also your mind as well. So this is another book, and I'll put all the links. Typically, all of these you can get on LSP, the Discover LSP, but a lot of them I can get off of Amazon too. So there's those. But to touch on what Sean was saying too, when you think about emotions, we're going through this COVID-19. I'm sure that maybe you're going stir crazy, maybe you're not. Maybe you're loving this, quiet time. For me, every day I've been telling my kids, oh my gosh, we actually get to celebrate a birthday tomorrow. We don't have to run to spring concert or run to her play that she has to do. For me, I was a crazy mama. April's crazy, and I have loved this time with my children and be able to talk to them. So for me, it's been a good thing to slow me down. But others maybe are going crazy, lonely, sad, angry. I've had all those emotions too, irritated, sad for what's going on with people's jobs, like all those emotions you may have felt already, and those are okay. I think to remember that it's okay to feel these emotions and to be in touch with our body. Like I told my husband, today I feel off and I don't know why. So I started breathing in oils just to ask God to help me just be in touch with my body. Is it a hormone? Is it the time of the month? All those things. Am I irritated and am I sad? Well, I just found out someone was murdered the other day and it was hard for me. And so I took it today instead of the other day. So just be in touch with your body. And these oils can help release that, because I didn't know until I started breathing the oils today, realizing what was really bothering me, and it was affecting my children as well. So with emotions, everybody responds to them differently, and that's okay. It's getting to know yourself, and you get to learn yourself a little bit better. But for my personality, I know that I need to work out. Going to get fresh air and go on a bike ride with my family helped me with my emotions today. Some people get energy off of exercise, some people don't. Maybe it's yoga, maybe it's Pilates, or writing in your journal. Or for me, what helps me with my emotions is be grateful, or to go serve someone, to get out of myself and go serve. So today we wrote letters to nurses and thanked them. I'm like, to get me out of my funk. And so there's just different ways that we can release those emotions, not just by oils. But oils are amazing too. But all of those can help you on your journey of all of our millions of emotions. Like Sean was saying, women, we're blessed with so many emotions. But we got to be patient with ourselves too. So I'm just praying tonight you guys get, if you have paper and pen, that you can write down some oils that we talk about, but all the others. You can Google these. You can type in Young Living Stress and they will come right up. We live in a world where you can get lots. And all you do is like, what do I have? Okay, I'm grabbing it. Lang lang. Okay, here we go. And then just start putting on you. And if it doesn't
That
do
is a really good point, because so many oils have so many different uses that it, even if you have like orange and you don't, you're just frustrated or whatever, you can just
tangerine. Yes.
For me, like Christmas Spirit, that one just I love the smell of it, and super cheap, like 10.25. I
Yeah.
love Christmas Spirit. And it's not one I'm going to diffuse this time of year, but to open it and just sniff out of the bottle.
Mhm.
All right. Do you want me to go first?
Please.
Okay. So the emotion, anybody having some lack of motivation?
Okay. See, so that's a struggle going on right now.
It's a struggle. I mean, when you don't have to do anything, sometimes I don't want to do anything. I was joking with a girlfriend today, like, what are we going to do when life resumes? Like, are we going to go back to the hustle and bustle? Or are we going to just like stay? Because I can guarantee you half of the people on this call right now would have said they couldn't be here because of XYZ.
Excuses.
If we had this class normally. So for motivation, if you look up apathy in the book here, one of my reference books here, it has, where did it go? There it is, apathy. It actually had frankincense as one of the main oils, and that was a surprise to me. I expected to see, like joy and ylang ylang, which is one of them, but I didn't. Frankincense is always just the like Swiss Army knife of oils, and it comes in the starter kit for a reason, because people need to learn the benefits of frankincense. So if you're having some lack of motivation, try that in your diffuser. Definitely motivation itself, that's an amazing oil. And I got it in my Aroma Complete kit, and I used it kind of, as I do everything, I'm always such a skeptic. I'm always like, this isn't going to work, and I put it in the diffuser and I turn it on, and sure enough, about 15 minutes after it's been running, either Dave or I or whoever's sitting on the couch what I turned it on for is like up and moving around and doing stuff. And it always amazes me, like just put a little motivation, and it's really floral and flowery, and I don't love it, but if you put peppermint with it, it is much better. And I don't know about you guys, but there are some oils that I just don't love the smell of. But over time, I find that it really is not as bad as, like, I'd use it because I know it's going to be good for me. Joy is another one. Like, I do not love the smell of joy, but I know if I'm in a funk and I'm sad and I'm depressed and don't want to get out of bed, if I put joy on, then I feel better. I don't feel, hey, like throwing a party, but I certainly don't feel like laying in bed anymore. So that's a really good oil also. Let's see, what was the other surprise in here? Lots of singles. Orange. So orange is a really inexpensive oil. You can get it, I think, in a Vitality for what, $6, $5, something like that. And orange also will help like open up some creativity. So we have lack of motivation and we're bored from being home. For me, I'm not as bored during the daytime because I still have to work, but it's in the evenings. So I think I'm going to try diffusing orange like when I start cooking dinner. And then maybe I'll have something to do. But I'm at this point where like the house is pretty much where like I don't have any projects to do here, and I can't do any projects because the basement isn't finished yet. So so we talked about bored, but also when I think of bored, I think of you need some creativity. So an oil like Envision or Dream Catcher. It's also a really great time to do some of that like thinking about what is it that I want for my life? When life goes back to normal, what do I want it to look like? If you don't want it to look like what it did beforehand, or like Sonia said, is this calming down been good for you? And how can you incorporate that into life when we come out the other side? I know that I had been slowing down. I was doing a lot of Young Living classes for a long time. I probably had 1 to 2 a week. and with kids school stuff, and I was just running all the time. And it's been nice. I've probably the last 5 or 6 months been just kind of slowing down and not doing quite as much, and I've really enjoyed that. So but how can I come out the other side? So I'm going to have to take a little time to think about that. And so I said envision and orange. Let's see what else they say in here for boredom.
We have 10 minutes. 10 minutes, Sean.
10 minutes? Okay. Yep. That's what I was thinking to try and leave you was 10 minutes. So cedarwood would be a really good one. Again, inexpensive. The spruce oils, black pepper. And again, guess what? Frankincense. So anything that ails you, you can look at frankincense, but dream catcher, citrus fresh, definitely motivation again. Oh, and even valor. And then my last emotion to cover is sadness, which I'm going to also tie in with depression. I think that definitely there are people out there that suffer from some severe depression, and that's not the kind that I'm talking about. I would prefer that someone actually, seek. You can use oils definitely to help you keep on an even keel on a daily basis. But if you're dealing with some major depression, then please seek some medical assistance also. But just that everyday sadness, I touched on it with joy. My daughter uses Gentle Baby. That's like her favorite scent is Gentle Baby. And it's very similar. You got them there too. Very similar to joy. Very similar. And so whenever she, it's like, hey, why don't you go diffuse an oil? You seem a little off. It's always the one she chooses. She's 16, by the way, if you're wondering. So I let her choose her own oils. Another one for, let's see, grief and sadness. Bergamot. Yeah, bergamot's definitely a good one. That's for anxiety also. I don't know if anyone's feeling some anxious feelings, but bergamot's wonderful. Palo Santo, galbanum, Roman chamomile, valor, release. Release is one of my favorite oils. You can put it on wherever, like Sonia was saying, like if you're having pain in your shoulder, or you got it too, and you can just put, a couple of drops, put it on your shoulder and say, I release the feelings and emotions that are associated with this shoulder pain, and just be done with it. It's as simple as that. You don't have to have all the right wording all the time.
I will say one thing about release too. I've had friends, to help them release their emotions. You can actually diffuse it at nighttime or use it at nighttime, because sometimes you take it during the day, you may cry or you may come out with anger. And so maybe it will be so drastic that you'll be afraid of this oil. It's happened to many of my friends. So what I tell them is diffuse it at nighttime, let your body release it, and let your body get used to it first. So that's because it is a very powerful oil to release your emotions, and it may come out with anger, crying, frustrated, until the body releases that emotion. Oh, cute dog. Instead of kitty cat, dog. Cute
yeah,
dog.
There was actually one of the chapters that I was reading in this book that was talking about the emotional release. There's a whole protocol in here that I'd never seen before. And it's not the feelings kit. It's a 12-step protocol. And one of the things that it says is be sure to give yourself space. Don't try and use oils to release emotions and then, go off and try to go to a PTO event or whatever, you have going on in your life. It's not going to work very well.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. I will do this in 6 minutes. Okay. So one of the emotions that someone mentioned was stress, and maybe you're stressed with kids, maybe stressed with losing a job. Maybe stressed with life, maybe it's pets, you get stressed with pets, whatever it may be. One of my favorite go-tos, and again, you can just Google this or you can use your reference book, but ylang-ylang is an amazing one to have to release stress. I like to diffuse this one at night. It is enjoy, like Sean talked about, but I know Julie, her favorite scent is Believe. Anyways, it's one of my favorites. I know Julie doesn't like it. I forgot. Oh, it's upstairs. But Believe is another one. For stress, you can breathe it, put a drop on your hand, and really breathe in and out. I actually did a test on my kids yesterday. I've been researching just to help us prepare for Russia. We're working with missionaries, and a lot of them can deal with anxiety and stress. And there's a psychologist, she helped the missionaries, and we normally breathe 15 breaths a minute. Try and breathe 4 breaths a minute. You probably know this, Kristen, because you do yoga. And I had my kids do it. And you can reset your stress level, your anxiety level just by doing that. You can lay on the ground. We just sat here and the kids calmed down. So a lot of that is to do with when you take a drop in your hand, just go, okay, I breathe, really breathe up and down, allowing your body to relax. So when you are stressed, the breathing is a huge thing. Yesterday or a couple days ago, I posted about Royal, the roller fitments. When you love an oil or you have a hard time using them, I'm telling you, I have them on so many. I've got my Joy, my Endoflex, I've got my Harmony and Valor. I feel like I'm using them a lot more now. But the Happy Day Protocol, you can Google it if you want to be tagged in it, we will let you know, but I don't have time to tell you guys about the Happy Day Protocol, but it helps with my stress level. It's Valor, Joy, Harmony, and White Angelica. Okay, so these are kind of sorry, you can look at them like this. But Happy Day Protocol helps me with stress. Sean already mentioned you're going to see lots of patterns of the same oils, but bergamot is a great one, grapefruit and lemon. And she mentioned the supplements that are great for stress. Super B, Inner Defense, ImmuPro. You guys, ImmuPro is a chewable, and you can take it at night. It has natural melatonin in it. You can cut it in half, in quarters. But if you notice you're in a high peak of stress, you may need something to help bring you down. And so I notice when the kids are all over and everything, I'm in a high stress, I need my Cortistop. I don't take it all the time, but I do what it says. I do the 2 bottles and it helps chill me out. Guess when I take it? The summertime, when they're all home. Well, they're home now, but I'm doing better actually. But Sacred Mountain is another one that I didn't like the smell at first, but you guys, my mom got me into it. It is huge for relaxing my stress. Sacred Mountain, I already told you, lemon is great. There's another one called Sarah. It's out of stock right now, but it is a beautiful oil. You can look and see if it's back in stock for stress. Okay. Let me go on to the other thing I was going to say that I feel very prompted to is when you're feeling stressed or you're feeling sad and you want to feel a different emotion to help you get out of that, or unmotivated, you can say, take your drop of your tangerine and, oh, I have so much energy. And you trick your mind. I'm serious. It really works because I've done it. Oh, I just love folding my laundry, whatever you want to do, right? But I'm telling you the power of the mind. And
I love you.
I really don't like cooking, and I'm in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, I just love to cook. And the kids are like, yeah, right, you do. But I just do it because I have to be in the kitchen every day, all day anyway. So I'm just saying the power of speaking positivity. My mom taught me that, and it works. Okay, anxiety. I deal with anxiety. There's lots of different ways that you can build up anxiety. It could be fear. It could be a nervous situation. It could be intense stress that develops into anxiety.
Eek, less than a minute.
Oh no. Okay. Well, when we cut off. So sorry. Lavender, orange, gathering, Ylang Ylang again is one of my go-tos, and Awaken. Awaken is an awesome one to help me. Just putting it on my chest, deep breathing. I do those slow breaths, relax, and it totally helps me. The other one was anger. When I feel angry, I use my Peace and Calming. I literally just go under and I just start rolling, and I just roll and breathe. And I'm telling you, this Peace and Calming is heaven sent. But release, like Sean said, but I don't use it during the day. I use it only at night because I am strong emotions over here. Hope is another one, and grounding. I highlighted grounding the other day. So if you Google in our section, grounding is amazing. The last one I have is frustrated. Humility, hope, 3 wise men, valor, peppermint and orange, Ylang Ylang, and again, frankincense. Those help me so much when I feel frustrated. Again, I need to remove myself from the situation, recognize my emotion, and then start using my oils, and I pray. I mean, that's a huge thing for me. I
You know,
forgot.
I think when we did the oils of the Bible class, you said you used myrrh also.
Yes, and I forgot to write that one down. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's huge, you guys. So I think it's just being in touch with our bodies, in touch with our emotions, being okay with it, and finding a way.
Trying things.
Yes, and not be a victim of it. Like, find a solution instead of be a victim of the emotion. Like, okay, let's figure out how we can help this. Okay, body, you're a little sad.